Authorities say it's been 3.5 years since an inmate escaped from Miller County Jail, and it doesn't happen often. They say they caught that inmate soon after and plan to work day and night until they find these two men. High prices this year are not stopping people from buying these mud bugs. In fact, people say the sky is the limit when it comes to their crawfish. SPAR has upped their staffing at their area pools this summer due to recent drowning incidents. The latest major scare was last weekend. The national requirement is 25 swimmers per lifeguard, while SPAR is taking on 15 swimmers per lifeguard. Little does the jury know that issue had to do with these 11 pages, a request from the defense team for a mistrial, which the judge did not grant. The first step in making this campus beautiful is planting the flowers in the flower bed, and Matt's going to show us how to do that.
Lies up under a roof.
When you think of shelter, is this what you picture? This is where Lloyd Thiefree comes, not only to seek shelter from Tuesday's storms, but every day.
It's in the open. I get a breeze because, you know, it was 93 degrees when it was still 12 o'clock last night.
Thiefree says it wasn't always this way. There was a time when a bed was a mattress, sheets, and pillows. Now it's concrete, cardboard, and a flimsy blanket.
I moved up here for a job. And when I got here, they gave it to somebody else, and so I've been on the streets ever since trying to find work. I made $2,200 every 2 weeks, and I had a 3-bedroom house. Hey, now look at me, sleeping on the streets.
Here in downtown Shreveport, it's rare that you see a homeless person sleeping outside during the day, but they're still out here after taking cover from Tuesday morning's horrible storms. But weather is the least of worries for some.
Certain people can go and they sit, they lay. The law don't hardly say nothing. But let certain other people go and sit and lay, the law hassle. I have been asked to leave, and that's wrong.
With possible storms expected over the next couple days, what's a person with no home to do?
I don't know what I don't know if I'm gonna go there tonight. I don't know yet. I take it one step at a time. That's the way I do.
Romni, DiJohn, NBC6 News.
The gasoline can kind of got thrown onto me as I was running back to the house.
Our trailer house caught on fire. We lost everything in the fire. I was in the hospital for 2 months.
Local burn survivors gathered at this Scottsville camp Sunday for a normal week of fun, free of the outside world.
People outside like to judge us because of our scars, which here we can't be judged because everybody's the same.
The benefit of it is the people here counseling them or the occupational therapists that took care of them, the nurses from the burn unit.
Camp I'm Still Me is free to all the burn survivors who attend, thanks to a man named Boo and his benefit. Boo is a burn survivor himself. In 1998, he suffered a welding accident, burning nearly 95% of his body.
We actually put on a motorcycle rally in Jefferson, Texas that helps raise money for the camp and for the Shriners Hospital.
These survivors are faced with daily obstacles and unique challenges.
I don't have any sweat glands, so I'm constantly having to lotion to keep my skin moist.
Counselors say you can see the change in each camper as they leave camp each year.
When they first get here, they're shy, they're completely covered up. Even though it's hot and we're sweating out here, they're in long sleeve shirts and long pants. When they get here and they see other kids that are the same, yet they're not bashful at all and they're swimming.
The permanent marks are only skin deep.
Can't let something like this stop you from living life.
Romni, DiJohn, NBC6 News. This was Lucky on Wednesday when she was found on Interstate 49. This is Lucky 3 days later, a few pounds heavier and 2 times healthier, thanks to the couple who found her and gave her the well-fitted name, Lucky.
I was going to put a collar on her, but I noticed her neck had a huge cut in it, or, you know, from the collar that had been left on. So immediately I just went inside and tried to figure out what I needed to do.
Lucky's collar was left on her for so long it was actually growing into her skin, 1.5 inches deep.
It was really deep. When she lifted up her neck, you could see, I mean, it just opened up completely, you know. And when we first got it, it was extremely infected.
Horacio and Jenny did a lot of right things by taking action and stepping up, and that's what we need our community to do. We need to have zero tolerance for animal cruelty and animal abuse.
Jenny and Horacio say they have everything they could need, so they give back to the community by helping to save animals. but already having 2 dogs and other rescued animals themselves doesn't leave much room for little Lucky. You see, animal cruelty is all too common in Shreveport and in the South in general. Founder of Pet Savers, Linda Shemwell, says while Shreveport is filled with dog lovers, there are still a lot of people in the South who think of their dogs as their property and not as their pets.
People chain up their dogs. They don't look to see that the collar is now too tight because the dog's no longer a puppy, it's an adult.
Horacio and Jenny say Lucky isn't a pit bull you would expect. She just wants love, and they won't give her away to just anyone.
What we're really looking for is just someone who's just going to take good care of her. She's had such a hard life. I know that I've already bonded with her just from spending so much time with her, and so there's probably going to be quite a bit of separation anxiety on both our parts. But I think she'll be happy if she could maybe find a house with other dogs.
Romni, DiJohn, NBC6 News. This is James Gilmer, a laryngectomy patient. He knew it was too late to correct his bad habit of smoking when he had to go through laryngectomy surgery.
I'd advise anybody that is smoking, quit. Save your voice.
So most patients, if the tumor is advanced and eroded through the cartilage, then go on to get laryngectomies.
But James hasn't given up hope after having laryngeal cancer or having the surgery to get rid of it. And he is the perfect example that there are still ways to communicate, and there is life after laryngectomy.
I keep on going. I've got a good help, a lot of support here from the hospital. And quit. I can't quit now.
James gets and gives support through the hospital's recently formed Voice Club, where patients who have had laryngectomy come together to relate.
Been shown in a lot of research that getting people who've had laryngectomies together really does support the overall recovery process for them.
There's a lot of equipment involved in the diagnosis and treatment of voice disorders. This is the computerized speech lab, but take a look at what I tried. This is video stroboscopy. Patients can view their tumors and voice disorders through video, and doctors explain to them what's wrong and are able to follow up with the patients about their improvement. And I'm not gonna lie, it's a little uncomfortable, but it's great to find out I'm 100% healthy. Romni, DiJohn, NBC6 News. Knowing the grandparents of 7-year-old Alton and 4-year-old Jacob Swanson and having 2 sons himself, DeSoto Parish Sheriff Rodney Arbuckle felt the sorrow of family and friends as they gathered to say farewell.
It was just real solemn, you know, a lot of emotions, you know, especially at the viewing of the body, you know, to have two brothers, you know, side by side, and you know, I just, as a parent, I just can't imagine losing one child, much less 2 at one time, especially in this type of manner.
DeSoto Parish Sheriff's Office investigators say Scott Swanson killed his 2 sons and then turned the gun on himself early Friday morning in Frierson. It seemed all of DeSoto Parish was at Roseneath Funeral Home supporting the children's family.
That's one of the things about having a smaller rural parish. A lot of things, from my perspective, is personal. You know, it affects me just like it does the families in a lot of ways, because you know the families, you know their kids.
People who work at the funeral home say that this is by far the most emotional and unique service ever held here, because it's just so unimaginable that someone could do that to their own children. At the same time, it's obvious that the family is just trying to get through today, and they'll deal with their anger later.
Most people are numb. You just cannot believe that that could happen in Shreveport, Louisiana, in America today.
After the service, Alton and Jacob were buried at St. Anne's Catholic Cemetery in Stonewall.
Keep the family in your prayers, and let's all try to do a better job in our lives and help our society improve.
Romni, DiJohn, NBC6 News.